In this game, during the daytime, isa ka lang regular student. You go to class and hang out with your friends. You form bonds and make memories in and outside of school. But when midnight comes, everything changes. A towering labyrinth appears, and you get to explore its mysteries and also fight different demonic shadows in the process. So, instead of playing it the normal way, I've decided to get all of its achievements. Hey, I'm Fender Kid, and welcome to Persona 3 Reload. In Persona 3 Reload, there are a total of 48 achievements. In those 48, meron dalawang specific achievements that are missable if you plan on finishing the game in one playthrough. Those two are the People Person achievement for unlocking all social links, and the other one is a Legacy of Friendship for maxing out all social links. So you need to spend your time within the game wisely. And yes, I managed to get all 48 in one playthrough. Also, I decided not to play the DLC, just the base game kasi, well, plain and simple, I'm broke. So, this is the first of many of my achievement hunts, so do consider subscribing and also liking the video, and you might get lucky like this guy did.
Maybe we could have dinner?
With that out of the way, let the hunt begin. Our journey begins in a train ride to the city of Iwatodai, a place where we will call home for the better part of a year. Upon arriving, something feels off kasi you see bloodstains and coffins everywhere. After walking around the city, we managed to get to our dorm. And meron batang nag-welcome sa atin sa lobby. He gave us a contract and he tells us that we need to sign it in order to proceed. So, di na natin binasa and we just agreed to the terms and services and signed our name. After writing our real name, the boy took the contract and vanished into this black abyss thingy. And then we are greeted by these two girls, Mitsuru Kirijo and Yukari Takiba. Both of them are residents in this dorm and will be our classmates throughout the school year. The next day, sinamahan tayo ni Yukari kasi it's our first day at our new school. She told us to go to the faculty office so we can meet our advisor and what class tayo. After that, we went to the auditorium for a welcoming announcement from our principal, who looks suspiciously similar to someone. We get to class and we meet this friendly student named Junpei Iori. The next day, we are introduced by a mechanic of the game called social stats. The social stats consist of three main categories: academics, charm, and courage. There are different ways to level up each stat, and some events require you to have a certain level for unlocking a specific event. And also, there are achievements related to leveling up your stat. After class, we're personally welcomed by Shuji Ikutsuki, the chairman of the board himself. Like, who gets a visit from the chairman of your school on a random day? Weird. Anyway, after a quick chat with Yukari and Ikutsuki, we head to bed. Then, midnight struck. We get a cutscene where we found out the real reason for the chairman's visit. We see him, Mitsuru, and Yukari monitor me as I was sleeping. Then the chairman explains the strange phenomenon that is happening during midnight, the dark hour. The dark hour exists between the present day and the next day. It's like the 25th hour of the day. When the dark hour occurs, any electronic devices and vehicles cannot function during this time. It's like you're in a different dimension. What's more disturbing is that a regular person transmogrifies into a coffin, but like the three of them, they have retained their human form. I guess that explains why they are watching me as I sleep. Because the chairman thinks that we may also have the potential. Question is, the potential for what? Then I had a dream where I saw a long nosed man welcome me to a place called the Velvet Room. He introduces himself as Igor and the woman beside him as Elizabeth. Yeah, magkakaproblema kami ni Elizabeth later in the video. The next night, another person enters the scene, an injured student named Akihiko Sanada, as he warns us that something big is about to come.
That's what she said.
The dorm gets attacked and Yukari wakes us up, and as we escape, we get stuck on the roof. Then a big monster appears. Yukari reached for her gun, but the monster slapped Yukari, knocking the gun out of her hand. After having no clue on what the fuck is going on, the only sensible thing to do in this situation is to shoot ourselves in the head.
So.
Luckily, this is the method on summoning our persona. By the way, it's not a real gun, it's called an evoker. Orpheus answers the call, but something wasn't right. We lost control and Orpheus transformed into another being and went berserk. It attacked the monster, sliced it into pieces, and after that, we regained control of our persona. After the battle, we finally get our first achievement of the game, Awakened Power, for obtaining Orpheus. We collapsed from exhaustion and died. Yep, that's the whole game, everyone. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Bye! Once again, we return to the Velvet Room. Then Igor explained that we collapse in real life after unlocking the power of our persona. What is a persona? A persona is like a mask that represents your inner self. They are beings capable of fighting those monsters that we recently fought. Also, he explains the purpose of social links. Social links are bonds that you form with different characters within the game to help your persona get stronger. The deeper your bond is, the stronger your persona gets. A week went by and we woke up in a hospital. Then, we have a meeting with the gang and they finally explain what is really happening. They said that the monsters that we fought are called shadows, and they only appear during the dark hour. Shadows attack any person who roams free outside their coffins, and any person that gets attacked will eventually suffer from apathy syndrome. It's a condition where a person loses their ability to function and eventually lose their will to live. Also, there is a chance that a person that didn't turn into a coffin might have the potential to unlock their persona, and only persona users can fight against those shadows. Then, Ikutsuki tell us that there are a club called Seas, but in reality, they are a group of persona users fighting against those shadows, and they ask us to join them to fight. I mean, after finding out and experiencing all those shit, days upon moving in another city and transferring to another school, any sane person would just go back home, right?
Wrong, 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 wrong.
We agreed to join Seas and unlock our first social link, the Full Arcana. Then, we get our second achievement, Seize the Day. Then Akihiko tells us he found another persona user, Junpei. He says that he saw him during the night the dorm was attacked by a shadow. Now, with this many people, we finally decided to explore the big tower that appears at our school, Tartarus. This place is the source where those shadows come during the dark hour. Before we started the exploration, we had a meeting. Akihiko appointed me as the leader since it's just the three of us exploring Tartarus. Then a blue door appears and we get to meet the old man again. Igor then tells us that our power is unique and we have the ability to summon multiple personas. And after that, we started the exploration. Basically, it's just the battle tutorial so we can get a better feel of the game. Then we are introduced to another mechanic called Shuffle Time. Shuffle Time gives you a choice on different rewards that can help you during your exploration. You can choose to have more XP, more money, different buffs for you and your teammates, skill cards, and you can also unlock a different persona. After that quick exploration, we returned to the entrance and called it a night. Then Akihiko introduced us to Officer Kurosawa. He's the person to go to if we need to buy new weapons, armor, and accessories for our exploration. After that, we went out and found something shiny called Twilight Fragments, which can be used in Tartarus specifically when opening locked chests, and also there is an achievement tied to it for finding every fragment throughout the city. That night, we went back to Tartarus and we got the Arcana Burst mechanic for choosing the major Arcanas as a reward. Ang dami ko na naman ipapaliwanag. Basically, when you fill the major arcanas, you get better rewards during shuffle time, and meron ding iba-ibang buffs and effects yung mga major arcana. And during our exploration, we managed to unlock a bunch of achievements. After hitting the enemy's weakness, we have an option called Shift, where we can pass our turn to another teammate so we can be more efficient during battle. Then, we get our third achievement, There is no I in Team. for performing a shift. Next, we got our first encounter of a rare shadow. We can get better rewards when beating it.
That's what she said.
I will send you to Jesus.
Then, after defeating the rare shadow, we get another achievement called the Thrill of the Hunt. Since the shadows are getting stronger, we visited the old man, perform a dyad fusion, and we get another achievement, the first of many. Next, we get another achievement called Shrouded Assassin for initiating 50 chance encounters. Then, the achievement Making the Dreamer for performing 50 all-out attacks. After that, we reach a roadblock, and with no clue on how to access the next floor, we went back to the dorm. There are a total of 22 social links within the game, which is a lot, and every one of them has their own story. So, para di lang ganun kahaba yung video, I'll just show you when I unlock a new social link and who they are, so we can just focus on the main story. Our classmate, Kenji Tomochika, the Magician Arcana, our track and field teammate, Kazushi Miyamoto, the Chariot Arcana, the track and field team manager, Yuko Nishiwaki, the Strength Arcana, the elderly couple at the bookstore, Bunkichi and Mitsuko Kitamura, the Hero?
What?
Hierophant.
A player that we met on Innocent Sin Online, Maya of the Hermit Arcana, and the Student Council Vice President, Hidetoshi Odagiri, the Emperor Arcana. Hirap ng mga pangalan nyo. As we get ready to go to sleep, the little boy from the lobby visited us. He tells us that there will be a full moon within a week, and told us to be careful since we will have another encounter with a powerful shadow, like the one who attacked the dorm. Get used to seeing this kid kasi he will visit us every time malapit na mag-full moon. With nothing else to do since blocking floors at Tartarus, we went online shopping sa Tanaka's Amazing Commodities. And we also unlocked 2 more social links. The Student Council Treasurer, Chihiro Fushimi, the Justice Arcana, and the foreign exchange student from France, Mbebe, the Temperance Arcana. We also told him how to properly say goodbye to someone, since he also transferred here just like us.
I understand perfectly.
I'll be back.
With the full moon upon us, Mitsuru found the powerful shadow inside the monorail. Then we went inside to investigate, and suddenly the monorail started moving. Mitsuru tells us that the shadow was controlling the monorail and we needed to head to the front of the cart to defeat the shadow and stop the train. Every boss has their own moveset and unique way of being defeated. For this one, you must defeat the shadow within the time limit or else the train will crash into another one. With the power of friendship, we managed to defeat the sexy shadow and get the achievement back on track. The next night, we are now able to accept Elizabeth's request. Her request mainly consists of bringing her unique items and also performing different tasks. By completing her requests, we can get rewards like weapons, armor, rare items, and money that can be helpful, especially when exploring Tartarus. Take note that some of her requests has deadlines. More importantly, there is an achievement tied to it, and you can also unlock a secret boss fight. After that, we went for another exploration in Tartarus. Then, we get another major arcana upon defeating that powerful shadow. Elizabeth tells us that every powerful shadow that we defeat, they will appear as cards that we can receive during shuffle time. Now that the path is clear, we can continue our exploration. And of course, we unlock more achievements. The achievement, The Power of Choice, for obtaining 10 personas during shuffle time. Briefcase Burglar, for opening 50 treasure chests. Next, a mechanic called Skill Change. This can occur when you're fusing a new persona. If you allow the skill change, you either get a good or a bad skill. Also, we get the achievement Tempting Fate for triggering a skill change. Occasionally, a heart will appear on a persona. This is known as persona conception. Leveling up that persona grants you an item which can be later traded for rare items and gear. Then, we earned the achievement Birthday Present for obtaining an item through persona conception. With the path ahead blocked, we had no choice but to end our exploration. We also unlocked Maiko Ohashi, the Hangman Arcana, and the Gourmet King Nozomi Suimitsu, the Moon Arcana. Then, we rewarded ourselves with a meal and got the achievement Gourmand for ordering a secret item on the menu. After all that exploration, we can't forget that we're still students. So we had a study group in preparation for our exams. And with that, we got into the top 10. After our exams, a lot of things happened. I'll try to simplify it as best as I can. First, Akihiko finally recovered from the incident with the shadow that attacked the dorm. Then, he told us that he found another persona user from our school, Fuka Yamagishi. Apparently, Fuka often gets sick, and she had been at the same hospital as Akihiko. Because of her health, she might not be fit to fight against the shadows. Later, there was an incident at school. They found an unconscious female student lying at the front gate. A rumor quickly spread that a ghost was responsible for attacking the girl. Later that night, we received another visit from the little boy, warning us that there will be another full moon within a week. After investigating, we discovered that three victims were involved in this incident. These girls had been seen hanging out in the back alley of Tatsumi Port Island. We asked around and found a guy named Shinjiro Aragaki. He told us that those girls had been bullying Fuka. He also claimed that Fuka's ghost was responsible for attacking them since she hadn't been home for a week and he thought she might be dead. So we spoke with the advisor of Class 2E in search for answers. But he was talking to a student named Moriyama, who was friends with the three bullies. According to Moriyama, she and her friends had locked Fuka inside the gym. One of them eventually grew a conscience and went back at night to set Fuka free. But the next morning, they found that friend unconscious at the school gate. Later, Moriyama went to the gym to unlock the door, but Fuka wasn't there. Every night, she and her friends searched the school hoping to find her. Instead, one by one, they ended up like the first victim. To summarize, Fuka was being bullied by these girls, and they had the reckless idea of locking her inside the school gym. You know, the same school that transforms into a massive tower full of shadows. The gang believes those girls were attacked by shadows during the Dark Hour, and since Fuka is a persona user, they think she may still be alive, trapped inside Tartarus. So we came up with a plan to find Fuka, stay in the school gym at night, and wait for the Dark Hour, hoping to rescue her. After entering Tartarus, we got split up. Then the little boy appeared and warned us to be careful since there would be two powerful shadows. He told us not to worry because we would eventually find Fuka and the others. After a bit of exploring and a few battles along the way, we finally regrouped with Akihiko and Junpei. Out of nowhere, a voice suddenly called out from behind us, a female student hiding from the shadows. Our plan paid off and we finally found Fuka Yamagishi. We asked Fuka how she managed to survive with so many shadows running around. She explained that for some reason she could sense where the shadows were, so she knew where to hide and how to avoid them. Apparently, she has the same navigational power as Mitsuru, maybe even stronger. We gave her an evoker just in case she needed it, and then we headed back to the entrance. On our way back, we saw the full moon. Junpei and Akihiko recalled that the shadow on the monorail and the one that attacked the dorm had both appeared during a full moon. But then, Fuka sensed something ominous. So we rushed to the entrance only to find two powerful shadows and both girls in rough shape. Yukari mentioned that none of their attacks were working against the shadows. Then, out of nowhere, Moriyama appeared and it seems that she was being called Tartarus by the shadows, just like what had happened to her other friends. Right as the shadow was about to attack, Fuka used her evoker and summoned her persona for the first time, shielding Moriyama from the assault. From that moment, Fuka could now use the full capabilities of her persona. Both the Empress and Emperor Arcana have a unique skill called Paradigm Shift, which causes their affinities to change. This meant that we had to rely on Fuka's abilities to scan the weaknesses of both shadows. With Fuka's help, we managed to defeat the shadows and were rewarded with the achievement Empowered Protector. Soon after, Fuka collapsed from exhaustion and we headed back to the dorm. After a few days, Fuka recovered and we held a meeting. The three girls who had been bullying Fuka finally regained consciousness. We told her the truth about the Dark Hour, Tartarus, and the Shadows and asked her to join our cause, since her ability would be a great help to us. and she agreed to join Cease. That same month, we had another encounter with a powerful shadow, and it's still a mystery where those powerful shadows come from. But we think Akihiko's theory may be true, since all those incidents happened during a full moon. At least now, we can prepare for the next one. Later that night, the little boy appeared once more, which was strange since the full moon was still far away. He spoke of an unavoidable end, yet hinted that our growing power might change its course. Finally, he revealed his name, Pharos. He asked to be our friend, and with that, we unlock our 12th social link, the Death Arcana. The next night, we held another meeting. The chairman provided us with new equipment and special cartridges, allowing us to use a new skill called Theurgy. When the right conditions were met, we could unleash a powerful attack against the shadows. With Fuka as our new navigator, Mitsuru was now able to join us on the front lines. We geared up and went to Tartarus to test our new equipment. During our exploration, we were separated again due to a distortion on the floor. There, we saw Yukari about to be ambushed by a shadow. We rushed to her aid, but the shadow gained the advantage. Realizing we were in a bad situation, Yukari regained her composure. With Fuka backing her up, she was finally able to use her Theurgy, unleashing a powerful attack that defeated the shadow. We also unlocked a new achievement called the Fool's Journey for obtaining 10 major arcanas during shuffle time. With another block path ahead of us, we decided to end the night. Later, Mitsuru decided to give us a tour around the dorm, since none of us had a proper introduction to the place. After the first shadow incident, the roof became accessible, so we tended some crops with Fuka. We earned another achievement called Dorm Life for spending an evening at the dorm with a teammate. Next, we unlock another social link, Keisuke Hiraga, the Fortune Arcana. After that, we harvested the crops we had planted with Fuka, and got another achievement that I'm not going to read.
Brother, ugh.
The next morning, we received an urgent call from Elizabeth. After the incident with Fuka's bullies at school, many people started wandering around Tartarus due to the influence of the shadows. Elizabeth instructed us to find and rescue them. So we went to the Velvet Room to fuse a powerful persona, and we got another achievement called Fusion Artisan for fusing 3 or more personas. Before starting the rescue mission, we had another meeting about the shadows that only appear during a full moon. After doing some research, the chairman believes there are a total of 12 shadows, 8 of which we haven't encountered yet. We still don't know their true motives, so we need to get stronger and prepare as always. Then I made a deal with the devil and unlocked President Tanaka of the Devil Arcana. We went to Tartarus and found Mr. and Mrs. Ahn. We took them back to the entrance and we got another achievement called Extracurricular Excellence for rescuing a missing person. Later that night, we got another visit from Pharos. Can you guess what he's going to tell us?
The next full moon will be in 1 week.
Then we had some free time, so we did a bit of reading on some revenge request site, and we got the achievement Specialist for maxing out one social stat. The next day, we unlocked a new social link with Fukayama Gishi, the Priestess Arcana. A few days later, another full moon was upon us. Fuka tracked down a powerful shadow inside the building in Shirokawa Boulevard, and it turned out that Akihiko's theory about powerful shadows appearing during a full moon was correct. Shirokawa Boulevard is, well, a place for people that, you know.
Champs de floors? How do you say that?
Then we engaged in battle with the Hierophant Arcana. He had a skill called Doomsday Doctrine, which inflicted the fear ailment. If not cured, it made the player run away from battle. We used Junpei's Theurgy, and after that, we managed to defeat the Hierophant Arcana. After the battle, we were transported to another room, where Yukari was taking a shower. A voice in our head tried to manipulate us into embracing our desires. But Yukari slapped some sense into us, and we regrouped with the others. Apparently, it was the Lover's Arcana that was causing those voices in our heads. It had a skill called Holy Arrow, which inflicted the charm ailment, turning us or our teammates against each other. It also had another skill called Heartbreaker, which instantly knocks out any player afflicted with charm.
お前はもう死んでいる。何
Yukari was pissed, so she used her Tier G and we earned another achievement called Get a Load of Those Numbers for dealing 999 damage in a single attack. After that, we managed to defeat the Loveless Arcana and unlock another achievement, Never Toy with the Matters of the Heart. After leaving the hotel, we see three people watching us. These three were a group called Strega, and they are Persona users just like us. I'll explain more of their story as we go on in the video. The next night, the chairman called another meeting. Most of us, especially Yukari, were curious about how the Dark Art and Tartarus were created. Whenever asked about it, Mitsuru usually avoided the question. Yukari did some digging and discovered that an accident had occurred 10 years ago, an explosion near our school. Finally, Mitsuru revealed how Tartarus and the Dark Art came to be. Her grandfather was the head of the Kirijo group, and he was obsessed with harnessing the power of the shadows. He assembled a research team to gather large amount of shadows. The research was conducted at the site of our school, but during the final stages of the experiment, an accident occurred and the experiment failed. As a result, they lost control of the shadow's power, which created 12 powerful shadows, the Darkar, and Tartarus. The chairman then explained that in order to eliminate the Darkar and Tartarus, we needed to defeat the 12 powerful shadows. A few days ago, while I was walking around the city, I found a very weak cat. I bought some cat food and after nursing it for a few days, it regained its strength. We then earned another achievement called Benevolent Protector for nursing the cat back to health. After Bitsuru's revelation and with exams coming up, the chairman suggested that we take a break and go on a trip. He convinced Mitsuru to make arrangements for a stay at her vacation home in Yakushima and to visit her father. Upon arriving, we were welcomed by Mitsuru's father. Junpei was hyped and ready to go, so we decided to get changed and enjoy some.
Beaches and bikinis, beaches and bikinis, beaches and bikinis, beaches and bikinis.
After all those long explorations, battling shadows, and the struggle of being a student, we finally earned some fun and relaxation. But of course, not everything was sunshine and rainbows. We received another bombshell from Mitsuru's father. He revealed the truth about why Mitsuru's grandfather had tried to harness the shadow's power to build a time manipulation device capable of controlling the outcome of any event. And the final nail in the coffin was when he showed us the only existing video recorded by a scientist during the accident.
I can only hope that this recording reaches someone with a conscience. My employer has become obsessed with a loathsome idea. This experiment should never have been conceived. I'm afraid the damage will be staggering. At this point, it's unavoidable. But I didn't have a choice. If I didn't do this, it could have destroyed the entire world. Whoever is watching this, please, I need you to listen to me very carefully. The shadows that were amassed here have been dispersed as a result of the explosion. In order to end this, you have no choice but to eliminate all of them. I am the one responsible for this. I knew the risks, but I was blinded by the promise of success, and so I chose to continue without objections. I am responsible.
That scientist was Yukari's father. This was Bitsuru's reason for hiding the truth from everyone. They believed Yukari's father was to blame for the creation of Tartarus, the Darkar, and the Shadows, and that the Kirijo group was responsible for his death. Yukari was devastated after finding out the truth about her father. Out of anger, she ran outside, not wanting to be around anyone. We chased after her to listen and help her calm down. She told us the reason she agreed to join and fight the shadows was to discover what really happened to her father. After calming her down, we went back inside. On the second day of our vacation, Junpei came up with an idea he called Yakushima Beach Fling, where we tried to pick up girls. The three of us failed miserably. On our final attempt, we saw a girl with blonde hair and blue eyes gazing out at the ocean. We tried our luck with her, but she went full Naruto mode and ran away. We chased her into the forest to apologize, but in a shocking twist, she revealed that she had been searching for us and wanted to remain by our side. Both Akihiko and Junpei were stunned when she suddenly hugged us. As it turns out, her name was Aigis. She was an anti-shadow weapon created by the Kirijo group, capable of summoning a persona, and her goal was the same as ours. On the final day of our vacation, we invited Aigis to join us at the beach since she would also be joining the team against the shadows. With that, we spent the rest of the day hanging out and enjoying each other's company. When we came back to school, the result of our exams were posted. After checking, we saw that we had earned the highest score in our class and unlocked another achievement, top of the class, for acing our exams. Then we met a new resident in our dorm, Kanamada. He is working with Ikutsuki to develop his potential and will be staying at our dorm from now on. A few days later, we were unexpectedly woken up by Fuka. She had sensed a shadow roaming around the city near the Naganaki shrine. Akihiko went ahead to search the area and found an injured dog named Koromaru. Akihiko mentioned that Koromaru had defeated the shadow all by himself, so we believe he was also a persona user. For some reason, Aigis could understand what Koromaru was saying, and she explained that he wanted to protect the shrine even though the priest was no longer there. Koromaru had been previously cared for by a priest who oversaw the shrine, but sadly, his owner passed away in an accident. Mitsuru arranged for Koromaru to be taken to a hospital to recover. After that, we went on another exploration in Tartarus. Elizabeth mentioned that something was shifting within Tartarus. Strange doors had suddenly appeared and she had no idea what was inside. The doors that appeared in Tartarus were called monad doors. Inside were powerful shadows along with materials for crafting gear, rare items, and major arcana cards that could appear during shuffle time. After that, we finally saw Aigis in action as she activated her Tier G or Gia mode, releasing all the limiters within her. Later, after using some Twilight fragments to unlock a chest, we earned another achievement called Shattered Plumes for using a total of 50 Twilight fragments. Next, inside the Monad door, we unlock another chest and gain the achievement Beyond the Darkness for accessing the remaining major arcana. Once again, we prepare for another full moon operation. Fuka detected powerful shadow in the northern part of Iwatodai, near the deserted houses in an underground facility. Takaya and Jin appeared, and they were members of Strega. Their goal seemed to be stopping us from eliminating the Dark Hour since they didn't want to lose their power. To hinder us, they locked us inside the facility. But we had an important mission, to defeat the powerful shadow that night. This shadow could split into two, but there was a catch. We had to defeat them at the same time. Otherwise, the remaining shadow would revive the other. They could also merge together, gaining more health when combined. Eventually, we managed to defeat the tank shadow and earned the achievement Armor Disarmed for defeating the Chariot and Justice Arcana. We ended the night by informing the chairman about what had happened with Strega and requested help since we were stuck inside the facility. After that, we unlocked Momoru Hayase of the Star Arcana, and we also received good news. Oromaru had finally recovered. He would now be joining us in battle, equipped with a personalized evoker designed for dogs. The next night, the chairman suggested that all of us undergo routine health checkups for the bumps and bruises we had sustained in Tartarus. Each of us was scheduled on different dates. Strangely enough, our checkup ended at midnight, so Fuka kindly guided us back to the dorm. Suddenly, she sensed a shadow at the Moonlight Bridge near Iwatodai Station and also a person. We told her to call for backup, then rushed to the bridge to save that person. When we arrived, we saw Takaya about to face a giant shadow. In an unlikely alliance, we fought the shadow together. After the battle, we had a brief chat with Takaya before parting ways. He was even polite enough to ask for our name.
What is your name?
It doesn't matter what your name is!
The following night, we spent time with President Tanaka and managed to level up his social link to the maximum, earning the achievement Unbreakable Link for maxing out one social link. That brought us to 28 achievements down, with 20 more to go. Then we got a cutscene featuring Junpei and a girl in a dress. Her name was Chidori, and we knew she was a member of Strega, though Junpei had no idea. To summarize, since they often meet, Junpei tries to befriend Chidori and get closer to her. Eventually, he tells her everything about our group and what we do, even lying about being the leader and claiming we haven't lost since she joined. After that, we unlock another social link, Akinari Kamiki of the Sun Arcana. We also saw a cutscene with Akihiko and Shinjiro Aragaki. A little backstory about Shinjiro. He used to be classmates with Akihiko and Mitsuru, and he is also a Persona user. 2 years ago, during an operation with Mitsuru and Akihiko, Shinjiro summoned his persona for the first time. Unfortunately, he lost control and his persona went berserk. That night, there was one casualty, and afterwards, Shinjiro quit school and vowed never to use his power again. Akihiko, however, is trying to convince Shinjiro to return, telling him it wasn't his fault since he had no control over what happened. But Shinjiro sees things differently. Coincidentally, Ken was eavesdropping on their conversation, and we realize he also knew something about what happened 2 years ago. Back at the dorm, you can spend time doing activities with teammates. These activities unlock their combat characteristics, which acts as passive abilities that make them stronger in battle. After hanging out with Fuka, we unlock one of these traits and earn the achievement through thick and thin. Then the chairman called another meeting. He told us that a new member, Ken Amada, would be joining our team. Based on the chairman's test results, he believed Ken had more than enough potential to battle shadows. Agis also mentioned that she wanted to attend school, so the chairman made arrangements. Starting tomorrow, she would be a transfer student at Gekban High. After school, Akihiko asked us to join him in trying once again to convince Shinjiro to rejoin the team. He explained to Shinji that aside from Shadows, there were other Persona users trying to stop us from ending the Dark Hour. He also told him that Ken would be joining the team. Eventually, Shinji agreed to come back, and he would also staying at our dorm from now on. The next day, we spent time with Yukari and unlocked her social link, the Lover's Arcana. After that, we returned to Tartarus, where we saw our three new members in action. Shinjiro hurling his mighty hammer at the shadow, Koromaru and his persona slicing through the enemy, and Ken unleashing a barrage of holy spears raining down on the foe. After using all of their tier Gs, we earned another achievement called the Strength of Our Hearts, for using all of our teammates' tier Gs. Then we saw Junpei returning to the dorm to prepare for tonight's full moon operation. Suddenly, someone grabbed him from behind. Chidori revealed herself as a member of Strega. She tied Junpei up and took him to the roof, instructing him to tell everyone to cancel the operation. Not just this one, but all of them, or else something bad would happen to him. In the command room, Fuka tracked down Night Shadow near Polonia Mall, but Junpei was nowhere to be found. With an important task at hand, we headed to the mall so Fuka could pinpoint the Shadow's exact location. It was possessing the cables in an underground chamber. Night Shadow had the ability to drain all the power within the mall, feeding its body with electricity to charge up and unleash a devastating attack, much like Vegeta's final flash against Cell. Its attack, called Terra Spark, inflicted shock on a player, disabling them from moving. Despite the danger, we pushed through and managed to defeat the Shadow, earning the achievement Dodging Lightning for defeating the Hermit Arcana. After the battle, Fuka was able to track Junpei back at the dorm. Meanwhile, Chidori sensed that we had defeated the Shadow through her Persona's ability. She asked Junpei why he hadn't told the group to cancel the operation. Junpei explained that he had never been in charge in the first place. At that moment, the team arrived and found them both. Chidori was about to summon her persona, but Junpei tackled her and Akihiko seized her evoker. After that chaotic night, we treated ourselves at Wakatsu Kitchen with the legendary seafood full course. Not only did we max out our final social stat, but we also unlocked the achievement. Sandali. Ba't hindi lumalabas? Oh. connect tayo sa internet, add back the counter, and
Nice.
ay, sana lang di maulit yun. Then we saw Chidori at the hospital. Mitsuru arranged for her to stay there until she recovered and they could decide what to do with her. For several days, Mitsuru and Akihiko tried to interrogate her, hoping to learn what she knew about Tartarus and her fellow group members, but to no avail. Eventually, Junpei tried talking to her, and the two gradually grew closer. We also discovered another ability of her persona, as she gave life to those flowers. Suddenly, out of nowhere, her own persona began strangling her. Luckily, Shinji was there and gave her some suppressants. He explained that they were not like us, and they needed those suppressants to keep their personas from going berserk. Outside, Akihiko confronted Shinji about the suppressants and asked if he was taking them himself. He warned that the suppressants had dangerous side effects that could even cause death. Shinji simply shrugged off the question, saying the important thing was that he was back and no longer needed to suppress his persona. Afterwards, we unlock another social link, the unusual monk Motatsu of the Tower Arcana. On our way back from school, Takaya was waiting at the station. He wanted to talk, and what he revealed explained why his group opposes us. Takaya knew we were holding Chidori and spoke about her condition. He explained that unlike us, his group's personas were awakened by force. Because of that, they had to rely on suppressants to keep their powers from spiraling out of control. Without them, their own personas could turn against them and bring about their downfall. He then shared his belief, their struggle, living on the edge between life and death, is what gives their power meaning. To Takaya, the dark art isn't a problem to solve. It's the reality he chooses to live in. He sees our ability to wield multiple personas as unfair, almost a gift we don't appreciate, and he resents that we fight to erase what he believes defines them. In the end, Takaya accused us of arrogance and ignoring their struggles and beliefs, and he made it clear that if neither side yields, a battle is inevitable. Then we went to Tartarus and explored several monad doors, unlocking chests and defeating shadows along the way. For conquering 10 monad doors, we earned the achievement Glimpse of the Depths. A few nights passed before another full moon arrived. During that time, I spent some evenings with the others cooking different kinds of dishes. Soon, the full moon was upon us. Fuka located the shadow at the Iwatodai Station Plaza. Last time, Junpei was missing, but this time, Shinji and Ken had yet to arrive. Still, we had to face tonight's shadow. This battle involved the 10th and 11th shadow. The Strength Arcana had the ability to make the Fortune Arcana untouchable, preventing us from landing any attacks. In order to strike the Fortune Arcana, we first needed to defeat the Strength Arcana. The Strength Arcana also had a skill called Mobius Rondo, which inflicted multiple hits on the whole team. However, the Fortune Arcana had its own trick, a roulette wheel. The mechanics of the wheel are simple. If it lands on blue, both your team and the enemy receive a random positive effect in battle. If it lands on red, you receive a random negative effect instead. On the final turn, we struck the Fortune Arcana's weakness. The roulette appeared one last time, but this time it only had two choices, life or death. It landed on death, but nothing happened. We pressed on, continued the fight, and eventually defeated both shadows. For our victory, we earned the achievement Twist of Fate for defeating the Fortune and Strength Arcana. After the battle, we see Ken and Shinji in the back alley. If you recall, I mentioned that there was an incident involving Shinji 2 years ago. Well, Ken's mom died here on October 4th, 2 years ago. Her death was labeled a car accident, but Ken saw the whole thing. It was the same night Shinji lost control of his persona, and during that operation they had one casualty. Sadly, it was Ken's mom. That's why Ken eagerly joined the team, because he wanted revenge on Shinji. All this time, Shinji knew all about Ken, and that's why he came back. He always felt guilty about what happened, and he knew what Ken was about to do. But he told Ken the severity of what he's about to do, not to beg for his life, but to make him understand. Back at the command room, the team was expecting either Ken or Shinji to be there, but no one was. Then, Mitsuru finally recalled what today meant for both of them. especially Ken. She told everyone what had happened and asked Fuka to find their whereabouts. Fuka located them, but she also sent someone else, another persona user from Strega. The group rushed to their location because they sensed danger. Then Takaya appeared from behind them. Without Chidori, he was having a hard time stopping our group from eliminating the shadows. So instead, his goal was to eliminate both Ken and Shinji. Takaya pointed his gun at them, but Shinji rushed in front to shield Ken from danger. Takaya overheard their conversation and told Ken that Shinji didn't have much time left due to the side effects of the suppressants. Suddenly, Takaya shot Shinji, grazing him and taking him out of the fight. He turned his focus on Ken, but just as he was about to fire, Shinji stood up and took the bullet, shielding Ken once more. Tonight, we witnessed another side of Shinji. Despite the heavy burden he carried, he still chose to protect Ken, determined that Ken would not bear the same weight. At that moment, the team finally arrived, forcing Takaya to retreat.
Shinji! Hang in there!
Aragaki! Senpai!
Aragaki-san! What's with the long face? Isn't this exactly what you wanted? It's alright. Hold on to that anger. Let it be your strength. You've still got your whole life ahead of you, don't you, kid? From now on, you're gonna have to live for yourself.
But I can't.
Okay. Look after him.
I will.
This is how it should be.
After losing Shinji, the school decided to hold a wake ceremony to honor him. We saw Akihiko pay his respects and say goodbye to his friend for the final time. With unfinished business and a newfound resolve, Akihiko vowed to keep his promise to Shinji and to finish the mission of ending the Dark Hour. With that, Akihiko's persona awakened to a new power, one born from grief, determination, and the resolve to carry Shinji's will. At the back alley where Shinji and his mother had fallen, Ked stood burdened by the truth no one else knew. This moment became a turning point for him. He accepted the pain of losing his mother and Shinji, and instead of being consumed by grief, he chose to fight. And with a newfound resolve, his persona awakened to a new power, born from loss, but strengthened by the courage to move forward. Then we received another visit from Pharos, who asked if we remembered the end he had spoken of. Some people are calling it the fall. He also warned us that it was drawing closer each night. The next day, we spent some time with Elizabeth at our school, though it was part of her request. She shared a lovely song about the Velvet Room.
Velvet, oh velvet, my master has a long nose. All together now.
The following night, we went to our part-time job at Chagall Cafe. After receiving our paycheck and earning 50,000 yen, we unlocked another achievement called the Grind Set Mindset. During our off days, we sometimes receive invitations from friends asking us to hang out. After accepting 5 invitations, we earned another achievement called In High Demand. A few nights later, Pharos visited us again, warning that the full moon would appear the following week. He mentioned that it will be our last shadow, and promised to visit us after the battle. To prepare for the next full moon, we returned to Tartarus to grind for XPs and grow stronger. On the next floor, we encountered the Dark Zone for the first time, a place shrouded in darkness where you could barely see a thing. We earned another achievement called the Horror of the Shade for encountering the Dark Zone. Upon defeating the final shadow on that floor, we reached another block path. We realized we would have to wait until the next full moon to face the final shadow. If you recall, I mentioned that there's an achievement tied to Elizabeth's request. Well, one of them is that she wants to visit your room. And, well, this happened.
This is your room. I've never seen many of these items before. Let me put it more plainly. I'm rather naive to the ways of your world, and there must have been many times when I behaved quite strangely. However, even I understand the significance of inviting a gentleman into his own room. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love for you to guide me through it.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you.
Here's a brief progress check on Elizabeth's request. I believe there's a total of 101. And after finishing the 100th request, we'll unlock the secret boss fight. Hmm, I wonder who it could be. Now, with another full moon upon us, Fuka managed to track down the final shadow at Moonlight Bridge. She also detected Shrega, and as expected, they would do everything they could to stop us from eliminating the final shadow. Everything was on the line in this fight. We needed to defeat both Jin and Takaya in order to face the final shadow. Since it was 4 against 2, we managed to defeat them easily. But after the battle, both still refused to give up. Instead of surrendering, Jin dragged Takaya over the bridge, falling to their demise. Now, one more battle awaited us. To finally rid the world of all shadows and the Dark Ark, we needed to defeat the Hangman Arcana. This fight was tough, as the shadow floated high in the sky. In order to reach it, we had to destroy the statues to bring it down. The Hangman Arcana had a lot of health, making the battle difficult, and it could also summon the statues back, preventing us from dealing damage once it returned to the sky. With the help of Akihiko's Theurgy, we managed to deal enough damage to defeat the shadow. His Theurgy was so powerful that it sent shockwaves to my PC, disconnecting it from the internet. I wasn't able to record the achievement pop-up, but with the power of editing, we managed to get the achievement a sense of finality for defeating the Hangman Arcana. And with that, we looked at the full moon for the final time, saying goodbye to the Dark Ark. The next morning, just as he promised, Pharos visited us once more. He told us that all of his memories had returned and that he now understood his purpose. Sadly, he said it was time to say goodbye. He assured us that he would always cherish the time we had together and that the bond we formed would never be severed. Back at the dorm, the team was ready to celebrate completing last night's operation. For those who have played the game, especially the PS2 version, you probably know what happens next. But for those who haven't, well, get ready for what's about to come. Then, Ken noticed the chairman and Agis were not yet there. Akihiko explained that the chairman had taken her back to the lab for some tune-up and that they would join them later. After that, Mitsuru's father arrived, congratulating us on completing the mission and expressing his gratitude to everyone. He then announced that as of this moment, the club Cs would be officially disbanded. To commemorate our achievement, we took a group photo as a reminder of what we accomplished that day. Time passed and the celebration came to an end, but the chairman and Agis have yet to arrive. As the clock reached midnight, everyone, including me, was confused and shocked to see that the Dark Ark was still present. Mitsuru quickly told everyone to gear up and investigate Tartarus for answers. When we arrived, the chairman was waiting for us with Agis. We asked him why the Dark Ark in Tartarus still existed even though we had defeated all 12 shadows. The chairman then revealed that it had been his plan all along. He explained that the 12 shadows we defeated were parts of a whole that would bring about the fall, bringing death to everything. He was also one of the scientists who had participated in the experiment 10 years ago. and he had tampered with the video of Hikari's father, making us believe that the cause of everything was those shadows and that we needed to defeat them. But it was all a lie. He then instructed Aigis to capture us as sacrifices and tied us up on the roof of the school's observatory. He also managed to capture Mitsuru's father, who was to be the first sacrifice. The chairman ordered Aigis to eliminate Mitsuru's father, but she resisted. For a brief moment, Mitsuru's father was able to shake off Aigis, draw his gun, and fire at Pikutsuki, grazing him but at the cost of his own life. Knowing that his plan was in shambles, the chairman instructed Aigis to eliminate the team. Instead, she shot the chains binding us, freeing us. By then, he knew his plan had failed. In his final act of resistance, he slowly stepped back toward the edge of the roof and fell to the ground. After these events, the team didn't know what to do. Akihiko insisted that we continue preparing since the Dark Hour was still present. Then Fuka managed to restore the original video of Yukari's father from the chairman's PC. She urged Yukari to watch it to finally learn the truth about her father.
I can only hope that this recording reaches someone with a conscience. Those monsters will try to reunite and become one again. If they succeed, then we're all doomed. I'll say it once more. Do not go after the shadows that were released!
This is the original video. The real one. Before Ikutsuki went and tampered with it.
I love you, Yukari. Please, take care of yourself.
After learning the truth and hearing her father's final words, Yukari found a new resolve. With her sorrow transformed into determination, in that moment her persona awakened to a new power. A power born from her father's love and her own will to carry his fight forward. After a few days, we returned to school. History Yumi introduced the class to a new transfer student named Ryoji Mochizuki. In a couple of months, the school year would end. And yet this guy decided to transfer right before it did. Is it just me or is our school weird? Anyway, Ryoji is an important character in the story because he's this guy. And it will make sense as we go on in the video. Most of the girls you form social links with give you the option to pursue a romantic relationship. For this run, I chose to romance Chihiro.
Senpai, I love you.
And after she said the 3 magic words, we unlocked the achievement, That Special Someone. Then we had a school trip to Kyoto, where everyone had a good time enjoying everything the city had to offer. During the trip, Mitsuru overcame the loss of her father and awakened her persona to a new power. Afterwards, we got to hang out with Mitsuru, spending some time over ramen. After that, we unlocked her social link, the Empress Arcana. A few days later, we were woken up by Fuka, who told us to come to the command room. She had detected the presence of other Persona users outside Tartarus. Apparently, Jin and Takaya were still alive, and they had managed to break Chidori out of the hospital. Junpei rushed to Tartarus to confront Chidori, trying to reason with her, telling her that she didn't need to do this anymore and that we didn't need to fight each other. But Chidori didn't see it that way. The battle with Chidori was cut short after dealing enough damage. I really tried to bring her HP down to 0, but the game doesn't let you. Then after the battle with Chidori, Junpei asked her why she was doing this. Finally, Chidori revealed the truth. What she feared most wasn't death, but attachment. After growing closer to Junpei, she began to fear almost everything, especially the thought that the time they had together might eventually end. Suddenly, Jin and Takaya appeared. Takaya was disappointed in Chidori for not being able to do what needed to be done. And Junpei, having feelings for her, declared that he would protect Chidori with his life. Out of nowhere, Takaya shot Junpei. At the brink of death, Junpei had a vision where he and Chidori were together in the same hospital. Chidori told him that she wanted to be with him forever, and Junpei felt the same. She told him that he couldn't die yet. Back in the real world, Chidori used her persona's ability to give her energy to Junpei, reviving him, but at the cost of her own life. Chidori collapsed after saving him, and with her final breath, she told Junpei that she loved him before passing away. With a newfound resolve, Junpei mustered the last of his strength to rise and summon his persona. In that moment, he awakened to a new power, combining his and Chidori's persona into one. He tried to strike Takaya, but Jin shielded him from the attack. With no strength left, Junpei fell to the ground, and Strega escaped once again. A few days went by, and everyone was spending a lot of time with Ryoji, especially Junpei, which really helped cheer him up after the loss of Chidori. However, Agi seemed cautious around Ryoji, sensing that he was dangerous, though she wasn't sure why. Then we saw Mitsuru receive the call regarding Chidori. They informed her that Chidori's body had transmogrified into a coffin, meaning she was still alive. Mitsuru decided to keep this confidential for now until they could learn more about what had happened. After class, we went searching for more Twilight fragments around the town. We eventually found the last one in the gym hallway, earning us the achievement Eagle Eye for acquiring every fragment around town. The next night, during the dark hour, Aegis found Ryoji wandering at Moonlight Bridge. After speaking with him, both suddenly remembered what had happened there 10 years ago. Ryoji's real identity was death, the very being the chairman had mentioned would bring about the fall. During his previous battle with Aegis a decade earlier, he revealed that his power had been split into 12 pieces. Outmatched, Aegis decided to seal Ryoji away, but the only vessel she could find was us, the protagonist who was nearby. Now it all made sense. Ryoji had unwittingly led us to defeat the 12 shadows in order to recover his powers and become whole again. That explained the sudden disappearance of Pharaohs and the sudden appearance of Ryoji. Determined to fulfill her duty, Aegis tried to defeat him once more, but she was still outmatched and was nearly destroyed. Just then, the team finally arrived and Ryoji explained what had truly happened before he and Aegis collapsed. The next evening, Ryoji returned to the dorm with more details to share. He spoke of a maternal being called Nyx, the Mother of Shadows. When she awakens, the entire world will be swallowed by darkness, and humanity will succumb to apathy syndrome, leading to mankind's extinction. Ryoji also explained that Nyx's arrival is unavoidable and that she is impossible to defeat. However, he offered us an option. We could choose to forget everything, sparing ourselves from suffering before Nyx's arrival. To do this, we would need to eliminate Ryoji. He gave us until December 31st to make our decision before he would lose his physical form. Almost a month passed and Agis recovered from her battle with Ryoji. She rejoined the team, awaiting his return to hear our decision. But this time, Agis had a new resolve. Determined to face the battle ahead, she awakened her persona to a new power. We also earned another achievement, a newfound strength, for awakening all our teammates' ultimate personas. Finally, Ryoji arrived at the dorm and told everyone that he would be waiting in our room until midnight to hear our decision. We all chose to spare Ryoji and fight Nyx, but he still insisted that we eliminate him since he didn't want us to suffer. He even revealed his true form, Thanatos, the persona that appeared when we first summoned Orpheus. Then, Ryoji asked us one final time, since we, the protagonists, were the only ones capable of eliminating him. We stood firm in our decision to spare him, and at last he gave up and respected our choice. Back in the lobby, Ryoji explained that we needed to reach the top of Tartarus to face Nyx. On January 31st, Nyx would descend upon Tartarus and the fall would begin. That gave us a month to prepare for the final battle. After making the most important decision of our lives, we maxed out the Team Social Link, the Full Arcana, and unlocked a new social link, the Nyx Annihilation Team, the Judgment Arcana. The next day, we went outside and we saw that many people had already succumbed to apathy syndrome, as Nyx's arrival drew closer. We still had a few more achievements to unlock before the final fight. Here are the social links I managed to max out at this point, with a few more left to complete and one more still to unlock. Upon returning to school, we had the chance to hang out with Aegis, as she was the final social link we needed to unlock. After unlocking the Ian Arcana, we got the achievement People Person for unlocking all social links. Then the group decided to go out and enjoy some ramen, but they stumbled upon a newspaper article about a so-called Messiah. Apparently, this Messiah was Takaya, who was brainwashing people into believing that Nyx's arrival would be the salvation for all their suffering. If you spoke to a suspicious-looking man at Club Escapade, you could meet this Messiah. And as expected, it was Takaya. And of course, he still wanted to stop us from reaching the top of Tartarus to defeat Nyx. Back at school, Mitsuru informed us about what had happened to Chidori and she asked for our help in figuring out how to tell Junpei that Chidori had come back to life. Fortunately, Junpei overheard our conversation from behind the door, and he couldn't believe it. We went to the hospital and saw Chidori alive and recovering, but she had no memory of anyone or of the Dark Hour. When she died, she had lost her persona. If you recall the scene where she gave some of her energy to the flowers to keep them alive, the doctor had placed those flowers on her chest as a tribute. Somehow, the energy she had given returned to her body and brought her back to life. Junpei believes it's for the best that she forgot everything, considering what she endured. With January 31st drawing near, we still needed to reach the top of Tartarus and we only had a few days left to earn the remaining achievements and finish all of Elizabeth's requests. One of her final requests was to bring a bloody button, which can only be obtained by defeating one of the most iconic enemies in the Persona series, the Reaper. The Reaper is no ordinary enemy. It can use nearly all of the most powerful skills, dealing massive damage. It also has an enormous amount of health, along with the light and dark skill that can instantly kill you. With a bit of luck, we managed to defeat the Reaper and earn the achievement Reaper Reap. To make the Reaper spawn, you need to remain idle for a short time on a normal floor that contains shadows and chests. I farmed the Reaper repeatedly to max out everyone's levels in preparation for the battle with Nyx as well as the secret boss. We took a break and went back to the dorm. After spending time with Aegis, we finally maxed out the final social link and earned the achievement A Legacy of Friendship for maxing out all social links. After that, we went to the Velvet Room where Igor noticed that we had completed every social link. He rewarded us with the Colorless Mask, which enabled us to fuse Orpheus Telos, a much powerful version of Orpheus. Back to the grind, we discovered the final Monad door in Tartarus, but it was locked. This was the place where we would face the secret boss. We went to Elizabeth and gave her the bloody button for defeating the Reaper, which unlocked her final request: take out the ultimate adversary. Her request was simple: go to the last Monad door and defeat the enemy alone. Then we held one final meeting before facing Nyx. Yukari recalled that if we managed to defeat Nyx, we might lose all memories of the Dark Hour, Tartarus, our personas, and everything connected to them. So we made a promise. After the battle, we would meet again on the third year's graduation day at the school roof. With everything prepared and ready, we headed to Tartarus to face the secret boss, Strega, and ultimately Nyx. Our first objective was the secret boss, so we headed to the final Monad door alone for the battle. The ultimate adversary was Elizabeth herself, and it wasn't easy. She is one of the toughest bosses in the game. There are a few unspoken rules in this fight that she never mentioned in her request. You cannot block, reflect, or absorb any of her attacks. If any of these rules are broken, she will hit you with a 10k Megidolo, instantly ending the fight. Also, if you manage to bring her health down to half, she will heal herself back to full and then strike you with another Megidolo. Sa sobrang hirap niya, para siyang girlfriend mo na pagkatapos maglambing, bigla ka na lang aawayin.
Daddy, chill.
So I tried lowering the difficulty to peaceful, which has a feature that gives you unlimited revives. Basically, you can't lose, right? Well, another one of her unspoken rules is that you cannot revive during the fight. Otherwise, she'll punish you with another 10k Megidolo. At that time, I didn't know any of this, and I even got stuck on a loop where I repeatedly revived myself only to get hit with another 10k Megidolo. Eventually, I gave up and took a break. So I went to the Velvet Room and thought long and hard about the persona powerful enough to defeat Elizabeth. Just kidding. After a quick reload from a previous save file and following a guide, I finally managed to beat Elizabeth. Sadly, there's no achievement for defeating her since she is an optional boss fight. I want to give a huge shout out to a fellow YouTuber, Baines, who has a more detailed guide and explanation of the entire Elizabeth fight. If you're struggling like I was, go check out this video. I'll put the link in the description below. You do, however, receive a platinum bookmark which serves as proof that you have defeated Elizabeth. And the Omnipotent Orb, a powerful accessory that nullifies everything except almighty attacks. With that, we completed all of Elizabeth's requests. I also managed to unlock everyone's combat characteristics and Theurgy, but we weren't done yet. I fused Orpheus and Thanatos, creating one of the most powerful personas in the game, Messiah. We then earned the achievement, Path to Salvation, for fusing Messiah. Since we had the colorless mask, I also fused Orpheus Telos, and with that, I completed the Persona Compendium. But we still needed to deal with Strega. First, we struck Jin with Virgil's Judgment Cut, taking him down. A few floors later, we faced Takaya. After a massive kotong, we managed to break him down. We finally reached the top of Tartarus where we would face Nyx.
Look at that! In the sky!
The next Avatar boss fight is probably the longest battle yet. When you manage to lower his health enough, he will use a skill called Arcana Shift, changing his affinities and unleashing different powerful attacks that deal massive damage. He performs Arcana Shift 13 times before finally shifting to the Death Arcana, his true form. At that point, he uses his most powerful attack, Apocalypse, nearly reducing our HP to zero, but we still had enough strength to counterattack, bringing the enemy's HP down to zero. It wasn't enough. Nick's avatar stood back up and initiated the fall, shattering the moon and revealing that the moon itself is Nick's, being pulled toward Earth. Every person who had transmogrified into a coffin was released back into human form, only to face the looming catastrophe of human extinction. Takaya also managed to climb to the top of Tartarus to witness the fall. Suddenly, Nyx released a powerful shockwave, forcing everyone to the ground. With no strength left, we unfortunately lost consciousness. Somehow, we found ourselves back in the Velvet Room. Igor reminded us that the bonds we had forged through every social link were more than connections. They were living strength, awakened to carry us through the final challenge. He told us that we were not alone and urged us to listen to everyone's voices, supporting us and giving us the strength to overcome the trial we were about to face head on. Finally, Igor and I were able to harness the power of all the bonds we had forged into one powerful arcana, the power of the universe itself. With newfound strength, we rose to our feet and prepared to face Nyx, determined to end this once and for all. And of course, with the most badass soundtrack in the game. Nyx struck us with an attack called Death, dealing 9,999 damage, yet we endured. With everyone standing behind me, the power of friendship surged within, healing me in the process and giving me the energy to continue the fight. After a fierce back and forth with Nyx, and with the help of my friends, I was able to call upon the Great Seal, a seal powerful enough to stop Nyx, but at the cost of our own life. With that, we brought an end to Nyx and earned another achievement, the Great Seal. After the battle, everyone found themselves in a black void, where a familiar voice spoke to them. Ryoji told our friends that after performing a miracle against an impossible task, we had finally ended the battle. Peace would return to our world, and the Dark Hour would permanently disappear, never to return. Back in the real world, everything was returning to normal, and we were able to reunite safely with our friends. Time passed and we skipped ahead to March 4th. None of our friends remembered anything. Akihiko and Mitsuru were preparing to graduate, and the school year was about to end. As we walked around the school, we went to the faculty office, intending to speak with Miss Toriyumi. But she was already in a conversation with another teacher. Just as we were about to leave, we dropped our phone. Miss Toriyumi noticed that we didn't look well, so she picked up the phone and then noticed the wallpaper. It was from the time we had been playing Innocent Sin online. She realized that we were Tatsuya, and the one she had been playing with, and revealed that she was Maya, the Hermit Arcana. And, well, you know what happened at the intro.
Maybe we could have dinner?
The next day was graduation day. Agnes wanted to talk to us because she too remembered everything that had happened, especially the promise we made to our friends to meet on the school roof. So Agnes and I went ahead to the roof, waiting for the others to arrive, believing they would remember as well. During the graduation ceremony, Mitsuru was delivering her speech when suddenly she recalled everything that had happened and the others did too.
Senpai! We remembered him, and Aigis!
Yes, I did as well. Let's go. They're waiting.
In a moment, the others will be joining us. It'll be okay. I'm right by your side, here to protect you forevermore.
With every ounce of strength we had left, we mustered the will to carry on until graduation day. Having completed our mission and upheld the promise we made to our friends, we could finally rest, closing our eyes one last time as our life quietly slipped away. And with that, we earned the final achievement of the game, from shadows into light. Well, that's Persona 3 Reload. If you're still here, I would like to thank you for watching my very first achievement hunt video. Sorry it took so long kasi I have zero experience on editing kaya I struggled a lot. Sobrang rich nung story and even with the long hours of grinding, mako-curious ka talaga on what will happen next. And well, it's a Persona game so that's expected. I never actually played the PS2 and PSP version so it was a fun and emotional experience for me. Sayang lang wala siyang platinum trophy like in the PlayStation version so I made my own. So before I end this video, I would like to say thank you again for watching, and if you enjoy this type of content, please like the video and make sure to subscribe so you won't miss my next achievement hunt. And I'll let Igor take it away, and I'll see you on the next one.
Our contract has been fulfilled. I have completed my role as well. You were truly a most remarkable guest.